Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Saturday morning, the 8th of February, and there is no rest for the wicked. No rest whatsoever for the wicked, including Megan Boswell, because she is in court yet again today for day 4 of her murder trial. She is accused, and in my opinion, I am very sure she is factually guilty, of murdering her little 1-year-old baby girl, Evelyn Boswell. Because the jury is sequestered, court is in session on Saturday, slightly shorter day. We're only starting at 10:30 Eastern, which is 3:30 PM UK time, so I will go live shortly before that, maybe like 15 minutes before, to do the sound check, to say hello and all that good stuff. Alright, I want to talk about this little boy here, because this is yet another child that appears to have been failed by everybody. Literally everybody in his life has failed this child, and he hasn't been seen for years. This is Hayden. He's missing out of Muncie in Indiana. I've got a lot of questions. There's a lot that we just don't know, but let's talk about what we do know. He's missing. He's 9 years old, missing for years. This is the Missing Persons of America flyer. HAYDEN MANIS, Muncie, Indiana. Last seen January 11th, 2020. We've had a whole global pandemic come and go since then. What on earth? In 2016, Hayden's parents lost custody of him after drug tests revealed they had been using cocaine. Same old story. This sounds a lot like Harmony Montgomery. This sounds a lot like some of the other cases that we've covered on this channel and on Michelle Walks. The same year, police discovered Hayden and his father in a motel room filled with heroin. His grandparents last heard from him at Christmas in 2019. Despite numerous attempts to contact the parents, they received little response other than assurances that everything was fine. So maybe not as proactive as Tommy Boswell was to the disappearance of Evelyn Boswell. That was 2 months of a delay. But then Tommy, Megan's dad, Evelyn's granddad, said enough is enough, and he called it in. This seems to be years down the line. Anyway, in 2022, Hayden's father, Dustin Manis, claimed that CPS had taken his son. But it was later confirmed that CPS had never removed Hayden from the home. Why not? Why on earth not? How come he's allowed to be with his father? Because he's lost custody. How did he end up back with his father? In 2024, Dustin, so the dad, if you can call him that, reported that he had not heard from Hayden since 2020. Well, who had him then? I smell a rat here. On December 15th, so just a few weeks ago, Dustin passed away from an overdose. So has he taken the secret of what happened to Hayden to his grave? Guys, I have questions here. I have a lot of questions here. But if you have any information, Delaware County Sheriff, 765-747-7885. That's 765-747-7885. There's a little bit more detail here. If anybody's got any, real information about this kid. They're calling him Hayden Morris. So is it Manis or Morris? Can we please just get the kid's surname right? All right. Muncie, Indiana, local authorities are trying to find a missing 9-year-old Muncie boy. So is he 9 now? Or was he 9 in 2020 when he was last seen? So now he will be 14. So which is it? Because if he went missing in 2020 and he's 9 now, he would have only been a little boy, wouldn't he? 4 or 5. I don't know the basics. It's so mad. Case after case. So to locate Hayden, task is complicated by the fact he was last verified sighting of Hayden Morris came in 2020, and the person perhaps most likely to know where the boy is, his father, Dustin Gary Michael Manis, is dead. The 33-year-old Delaware County man died in December as a result of a drug overdose. Members of the extended Manis family made Delaware County Sheriff's deputies aware of the boy's disappearance last September. Why am I just hearing about this now? Have people been talking about this since September and it's just passed me by completely? It's possible. I don't know. Relatives said they hadn't seen the child since a family gathering on Christmas Eve 2019. So according to this flyer, he was last seen January 11th, 2020. So was it Christmas Eve 2019, like an absolute confirmed proof of life, or January 11th, 2020? I guess the few days doesn't matter, given the length of time that he's been missing. Right. Since that time, we've worked diligently to investigate all leads, execute multiple search warrants, and conduct numerous interviews. Chief Deputy Jeff Stanley said Thursday. Investigators later found witnesses who had seen the boy as recently as 2020. As recently as 2020! Stanley acknowledged the long delay in learning that Hayden was missing makes the investigation all the more difficult. That's our frustration, that they waited so many years to come forward. Why do families wait so many years? Why? Father's explanation discounted. Delaware County prosecutor Eric Hoffmans on Thursday called the missing boy's father the primary person of interest. Yeah, but he's dead. Dustin Manis told sheriff's investigators that the Indiana Department of Child Services had taken Hayden from him in 2022 and placed the boy in the custody of his mother. Authorities have determined that never happened. This is the low life here. So who's the mother? My head's spinning. I've got a lot of questions. Dustin Manis had a history of substance abuse, and Hayden as a baby in 2016. Okay, so he's a baby in 2016. So he's 9 now. So in 2020, he would only have been 4. Wow. He's placed in the care of his paternal grandfather when Dustin was convicted of possession of a narcotic drug in Blackford County. The boy was later returned to the custody of his father. So is this yet another CPS failing? This is Adam and Harmony Montgomery all over again, I'm feeling. On November 23rd, 2024, a Muncie police officer pulled over Manis driving a sport utility vehicle for a traffic violation on Memorial Drive. The officer asked Manis why he seemed so nervous, almost to the point of fear, according to an affidavit. Have we got the affidavit? I need the affidavit. I'll go and see if I can find it. Manis said he had recently been questioned by law enforcement officers about his missing son. Manis, then listed at an Eaton address, was determined to have heroin and a syringe in his pocket, and meth was also found in a cigarette pack. Jesus. He was charged on December 4th in Delaware Circuit Court 3 with possession of a narcotic drug, possession of meth, and possession of paraphernalia. 9 days after those charges were filed, Dustin Manis released from the Delaware County Jail after a family member posted bond. So, family members willing to step in and post bond, but not really force the issue about where the kid is. Okay. So he fatally overdosed. Investigation far from over. The search for Hayden has taken deputies to a variety of locations, including a home along Nancy Lane. In at least one search, cadaver dogs were reportedly involved. Hoffman said deputies have been working this case day and night since September 5th. To this day, we have yet to find Hayden alive and well, nor have we found his body. The fact that police were not notified for over 4 years after the family last saw Hayden has significantly hampered the investigation in many ways. It has made it exponentially more difficult to get to the truth. Hoffman said, despite Dustin Manis' death, this is an open investigation and it's far from over. Glad to hear it. You don't need to look too far back in local history to see that I do not give up in child abuse and neglect cases. The case is quite haunting, he said. I think I can speak for everyone involved in the investigation that Hayden Manis... So it's Manis. Now we're saying Morris earlier on. It's all right, Hayden Manis. All right. So Hayden Manis is always on our minds. Stanley asked that anyone with information about Hayden Manis call the Sheriff's Department Investigative Division at 765-747-7881. So this kid, yet another one, only like 4 when he was last seen by anyone. He's 9 years old now. Where is Hayden Manis? And why has everyone failed? Yet another child. Unbelievable.